Hello, my name is Enoch Beverly. Thank you for tuning in to the Enigma Speaks podcast. We're talking about careers today, dreams, careers, all in one, right? In the previous episode, I said I was going to talk about getting a raise, right? But let's start from the very beginning. When you get a job, for many people who got a job, it was just um, escaping poverty. I'm done with school. I'm done with my learning. Let me put it to work, right? So was escaping. That was the first level. And that's totally fine because life is in stages, right? So you escape poverty. Then you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years there. That's the 5 years of learning what really happens in the workspace and learning about the work you do and the study you had, right? So for those who learned in the university, most of what they were taught was theory. So now you've come to the real world to see if the application would work or to apply what you've learned. Those in trade schools, there's a different scenario because they were working on the job. They're like apprentices, right? They are part of what is happening real time. Okay. So it's a different scenario. But let us talk about you who works in not the trade people now, those who went to the other kind of school where they just learned mostly theory. The 5 years where you come out of school are the 5 years of your practical training. So you are not yet out of school. Now you are in a new school, the school of application. So in the first 5 years of your life, you want to be leaning into performance, learning performance before we talk mastery. I like to wait 7 years before I talk about the word mastery. Before you can say you have mastered something, at least 7 years, at least 7 years, right? You're just good at it, really good at it, very good at it. But mastery, you've got to put in the hours. And putting in the hours not just in the job, it's the things that you find out only on the job. See, there are things you will never, ever, ever, ever find out except you get on the job. Yeah, there are things like that. So people don't know this. They think what they were taught in school is all there is. That's the practical. When you get on the job, the interactions that your lecturer can never teach you. There are things that happen in the workspace that your lecturer never experienced because he never worked in that particular workspace or where he works is different, right? I can reference scenarios from radio because I worked radio for many years. I can do same for TV because I worked TV too for a bit. But I cannot do that. Because I lectured too. I taught in the classroom many times, but I cannot do that in a scenario where I haven't lived. You can't talk about a life you haven't really lived. Do you understand? So your first 5 years are not the 5 years to start talking about a race. No, it's the first 5 years of learning the application of what you were taught in school. So as you learn, you get clarity. Some of you, that's when you move to the department that you're supposed to be, because you now realize that. So maybe you get to an advertising agency, for example. You realize you're a better copywriter than maybe a graphics person or something. You just realize that this department, or you're better in marketing, interfacing with people than being behind the scenes. Or you just realize, I really am not a people person. I'll just work behind the scenes. So yeah, you create behind the scenes. Just like those in the creative space, directors, camera people. Some of them put them in front of the camera, they're going to mess up big time. They know that that's not where their strength lies. So in that workspace, you realize, I really want to be a producer or a presenter. I want to be a director. Or I don't want to be a director. I want to be the camera person. I want to be the one framing the shots, right? Or I want to be the gaffer. But you can only fine tune so much in the workspace. So your first 5 years, you're fine tuning, you're learning yourself also in the real world. School is not work. Oh. We've seen many people who went to school and they think that they were all that. Then they come to the workspace and they realize, mm-mm, it's another kettle of fish. And they're confused. Why are they not noticing me? Why are they not acknowledging me? Honey, you are one thing in the midst of many, many things. And many of those other things are bigger than you are right now. Doesn't mean you won't be big or great, but right now, you are like at the bottom of the ladder. And that's a great place to be because it means you're willing to start. So start. And if you're so driven and you're so eaten up by why they're not acknowledging you, then you will work faster, harder, and better than most other people. Yeah, you give yourself a higher target, a higher level of performance than every other person. Hold yourself to that high standard, and then let's see what happens. So 5 years, and then your journey begins in the 6th year. So that is when you can now sit. And you see, it's instructive for us to have an appraisal done, a personal appraisal. Your bosses will do theirs, but you should have a personal appraisal, which means that you should have goals for yourself once you get into the workspace. What are my goals the next 6 months? Understand your bosses, understand your colleagues, understand how the system works. The system could be big, so can we start with your department? Understand how your department works. Understand what it is that if it's not there, that thing that if it's not there, everything will crash. Understand what it is and who it is. Because it's not just the what, it's also the who. So understand who that person is. Then understand how you interface with that person in the course of doing your job. Some of you don't interface with the person directly, but there's a person who interfaces with the person that you interface with directly. You want to be very aware, conscious of that person, right? And then you want to also know how appraisals are done. How will my work be measured? How will my performance be measured? Because that's where the problem starts. You're doing something that is not the key thing required of you in that space. Then it becomes a problem. So we want you to know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And if I'm doing this thing, what reaction, what kind of feedback am I supposed to be getting? What is it supposed to be bringing to me, right? Because if you're not doing that, then there's also another problem. So you need to understand in totality what your work entails, what your work should entail, and the feedback that your work should bring. If you're a marketing person, you're in sales, you're in customer service, you're in production, you are in logistics, you're in the creative department, you need to know exactly the outcome. Then, for those who have done 5 years and now we're going to the next, let's do 7 years. For you who just got out of school, let's do the second. So by the 7th year, you should be able to talk about a race if you haven't gotten one already. So we get into the 7th year. But if you have a plan, a 6 months plan, every month you should have something. I mean, a 6-month plan is monthly now, so we're not jumping to the 6 months because everything you do each day counts for something. That's why if you don't show up, you get queried. I mean, you don't show up without proper permission granted, proper excuse taken, you get a query, right? So it shows that your work every day counts. And if you're listening to me, you're watching this, you believe that your work doesn't count where you are, then follow me because I will take you to where you should go. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on this video, and share it. My name is Enoch Beviri. Yeah. So what do? In the 7th year, you ask for a raise. You already know where you work. You know the patterns, the systems, and everything. So what I'm saying is that after the first 6 months, when you've done the foundation laying, right, you now start to plan for your promotion. Many of us don't plan for anything. We just plan to show up and pepper them and slay. We do not plan for a promotion. Promotion is work based, performance based. Oh, and no, in my company, they don't do, leave your company alone. They're just one in in many companies, in the midst of many companies. Your company is just in one location, in the midst of many locations across the world. Leave them alone with their mediocrity. How is your performance? How is your performance? Because we can scream about how mediocre the place of work we are is, but we're still there, right? We still chose them. We still show up every day. So, how is your performance in the midst of all that mediocrity? So, in the seventh year, what do? Ask for a raise. Having planned a promotion for the promotion from the first year. So, you're making progress, you're making progress. You're dotting the I's and crossing the T's month after month, quarter after quarter. If you get positive, what's it called now? Recommendations or comment. If you get commendations, print them out, put them in a folder, or have a folder in your drive. Just store them up. Every commendation you get, store it up. These are part of what you would use to ask for a promotion and a pay rise. Oh, I was reading something recently, and the person said they didn't want a promotion because they realized that it was going to give them too much work and take away the soul of what they were doing. That's also a thing. Oh, know it now. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you get to the point in your career on the job that you realize that I could do more, but if I move forward in that direction, it will take away the soul of my work, then you will not take that. You will not take that promotion. You will not take that extra responsibility. And it's fine. Just like people saying, I want to be rich, but not as rich as this person. See, it's fine. If you want to be like, I think it was in this book of Psalms, where the psalmist said, don't give me too much this, don't give me too much that. That is fine. See, whatever you want, but be sure that that's what you want for yourself, and you'll be happy with it 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Do you understand? So you ask for a raise based on your monthly, weekly, quarterly, half year, 1 year performance, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and 7th year you ask for a raise. What that also means is that you have a plan, right? Which I've said from the onset. You also have a plan for your future. I don't think anybody should work the way our parents worked. 20, 30, 40 years in one place. That's my thinking. But if you think that's what you want, fine. But how much time and space does it give you to do other things that really matter to you? Right? I love to travel, for example. So what I'm doing right now is preparing myself for that time where I can work from anywhere in the world, aka working for myself, right? Wholly, working for myself wholly, where I can automate systems and that's it. Set up systems, automate, and that's it. So I don't have to be anywhere. Systems will work. So you plan in 10 years, where do I want to be? Do I want to be a manager? That's what's important to you. Do I want to be a director? Do I want to move to another sector? What do you want? You have to know what you want. Otherwise, you just be there and time will pass. Do you understand? You don't want that. You don't want life to happen to you. You have to dictate to life the way you want it to go. Even if it doesn't go entirely the way you want it to go, you will learn a lot. You will pivot more than most people ever will in their 20, 30, 40 years careers. You will meet people. It will happen. Most likely better than you ever imagined or thought it would happen for you. So you ask for a raise, and then what? You don't get a favorable response. You go back to the drawing board. It's not a time to get angry and start behaving like a spoiled brat or an entitled person. No, it's not your job. I mean, it's not your company. You're still an employee. You start to make a plan. What are my options? And that's what keeps many of us trapped and frustrated. We just believe this is the end. There is no end till death. Darling, there is no end till death. Cool down. What are my options? That's why associations are so important. You can't be friends with fools. You got 5 fools, girl, you're number 6. You got 5 fools, boy, you're number 6. You have to be friends with people that are going in the direction that you want to go. Not just in the direction you're going, also the ones you want. So you have them in batches. There's the ones that are with you, you're running your race. Then there are the ones you want to take the baton from. It's a relay, darling. It's not a sprint. You're not going to get there and, hey, champion. Or you could start with that. After championing yourself, be part of a team. See how teams work. Because in starting a business, you would need a team. You need to learn team building. You would manage a team as a leader. So if you are not part of a team, how would you know how to run a team? How do you know the shortcomings that teams deal with? How would you be able to understand burnout, managing emotions and all that? Just how? So you ask for a raise, radio silence. Okay, go to the drawing board. What are my options? You could apply for another job. You could sit with HR and find out, based on appraisals of your performance, where did I fall short? Where do I need to improve? Very important. Many companies don't give room for that. So maybe not HR, maybe your direct boss or the boss above your direct boss. If you have a good relationship, you should have a good relationship as much as it lies within you. 2 options. Number 3, where else can I channel my energy? AKA side gig. Oh, number 4, entrepreneurship. What value can I add that I don't have right now that would make me get that promotion or that pay rise? There's 2 things. So there are promotions that don't come with pay rise, and there's pay rise that doesn't come with promotion. Then sometimes it's both. So you need to, these are the things, you need to decide what you want, which works for you. Because I've seen people who have more influence than their bosses. They earn more than their bosses. I'm not even playing. So it was not a case of a position. No, it was who the person was and the posture that they took. Aha. Then you want to check your skill set in relation to what you're doing right now. I keep telling people the world is global village, global village. The fact that you can call someone real time anywhere in the world means that we can rate you by their performance if you're in the same industry. Your tools might be different, but bottom line, I mean, anyone who's selling is selling. Oh, whether you're selling Akara at Tumokuru Junction, you're selling Akara in one corner in Lekki, you're selling Akara, bean cake in the US or in in Germany or in France or in Australia or in Sweden, whatever it's called, bean cake, whatever, street food. How many customers do you have? How many repeat customers do you have? Everywhere there's good customer service, there always will be repeat customers. There are places I go to because I just love how it makes me feel. Might be expensive, might be cheap, doesn't matter. It's the feeling. I just want to relieve that feeling. The same thing with people. People make you feel really good about yourself. You want to be around them more than those that just have negative vibes. I want to talk you down, make you feel small, magnify your mistakes and all that, you know. So the performance we can check. What are your numbers? See a document. When I was this, there was a 30% increase in, even if it's in francs, 30% increase in, yeah? In Stockholm, it's the same thing. It's the percentile, 30%. The currency doesn't matter. 30% is 30%. Do you understand? So you put those things before you. Resigning I'm not a big fan of that, like that, especially not after something like that happens. You're turned down, your request is turned down. No, that is childish. And even if you plan to resign, give it a little more time. Give it a little more time so it doesn't look like you're reacting to something. So you put the options on the table, then you see which is the lowest hanging fruit, which will be more effective, which could happen fastest. They're different things. Because many of us get into the workspace, we don't have a plan. It shows in everything we do. You want to ask yourself today, wherever you are watching or listening to this from, do I have a plan for my career path? That's why you need mentors. You know, if you hear mentors, you just cringe. Ah. The mentor is the person at the top of the ladder, maybe even halfway. But that one step, you're still at the bottom. You've not taken the first step. Maybe you have taken the first step. They're still like 12 steps ahead of you. The person is on the sixth or the seventh. You don't really like. I don't really like that. That's another trick in the workplace. People that we should learn from, we don't like them. Who's going to teach you? You can't pay for those who have the same knowledge, who are out there, who are selling it. You're going to get it for free right here, but ego. How much has ego added to your salary or your height or your knowledge? Not down. See, that ego, keep it. It's a thief of wisdom. It's a thief of growth. It's a thief of success. Ego is a thief. If you let ego rob you, oh my, oh my. That's why you must watch my podcast, because I am going to tell you truth, even if it hurts. What you decide to do with it is totally up to you, darling. So, do you have a work plan? Do you have a career plan in place? Think about it and do something with it. See, after watching or while you're watching, take a pen, write it down. I've done how many years in this organization? What has happened? Your certificate. Someone said after 2 years that expired. What it means that there's new knowledge, new enough to push what you've learned to the back seats. So are you upgrading? You can't blame your bosses. You can't blame external forces for everything. Yourself, how fast are you growing? How effective is your growth? How effective is your work, your performance? Can we look back and say 6 months ago, this person wasn't, I don't know what happened. So the things that we must put in perspective to help our lives move forward. Thank you for watching. My name is Enoch Baby. Twitter, Instagram, Enigma City, X, X, Instagram, Enigma City, Facebook, Enigma City NG. Thank you for watching.